Hey, what's up guys? Nate from Montana Wake. And first of all, I want to say congratulations on your new Centurion RI model. I'm going to take you through a walk around starting on the outside and pointing out some of the features and some of the ways to make sure that you're having a great day on the lake. So let's start it off. So one thing that set this Centurion RI model apart compared to some of the other boats that you'll see on the water is this Centurion specifically designed ram fill vent. So this is a vent which comes from your ram fill tank. So just like your regular overflows for your ballast, this is where the ram fill overflows. So when that ram fill tank is full, you'll have water gushing out the side here. Roswell has done a beautifully designed, paint matched billet exit, which just adds cool aesthetics to the boat, as well as a light up ram fill badge. Here on the transom of the Centurion RI boat is where a lot of the magic is made to make sure that you're having a great time on the water and making some really fat waves. So let's start off with your tab system. Down here are your surf tabs. So when you're surfing and you're setting up the wave, the opposite side tab will engage in the water, causing the boat to list over and help shape that wave. Back here on the transom, you have Centurion's patent design silent stinger plate. It's not just like a standard surf plate where most boats have a tab, just a flat plate with a surf pipe that goes through it, causing a lot of overspray. Centurion has specifically designed this silent stinger to disperse the exhaust lower in the water to not only knock down CO2, but also to give you a sweet stereo upgrade by quieting the exhaust down. New for 2026, Centurion has partnered with Easy Drive Thruster to launch this new surge thruster system, which really helps move this boat when you're in a tight situation from left to right, giving it its own independent motor to make docking and loading super easy. And like I said, the transom on this boat is where a lot of the magic is made. So behind the Easy Drive Thruster, the Silent Stinger tab, we also have these new 20,000 watt lumen RGB underwater lights, and I promise you there's not another factory option that's brighter than these. So here on the transom, there are a couple more key components that you need to understand before taking this boat out on the lake. Right here, we have a quick connect for a garden hose, so you can hook up the water directly at your house and run this boat in your driveway to make sure everything is working good before you get out on the water. Behind the surf tabs, you can see this outlet. It's a little different than most wake boats. That's because this is tied to the drain system of Centurion's patent design ram fill. So this right here is where the ballast drains the ram fill really freaking quick. So if you're trying to get off the water or switch sides, you can do it in a hurry with the Baller 2.0 system. Don't forget your rear transom drain plug. It's located right in the middle. It takes 1/2 inch NPT, and don't forget to plug your holes so you don't sink your boat. Another great thing about the Centurion boat that makes your day on the lake even better is the dual fill nozzles for the fuel. It seems like something so simple, but when you pull up to a fuel pump, it doesn't matter which side you pull up to, you can fill up on either side of the boat. This is something new that Centurion has offered over the last couple years, and I really like it. You have your built-in battery tender where you can just plug this in and make sure your batteries are charged so you don't end up dead on the water. This is another great feature here on the bow of the Centurion RI model that I really love. Up here, they have a stainless steel loading plate. So when you're bringing the boat up on the trailer, your bow roller isn't making contact with your gel coat. It's got a nice, solid stainless steel plate, also equipped with your front mount camera so you can see the dock and trailer when you're pulling in. Now we're making our way inside the Centurion RI so I can show you what it's all about. Starting at the transom of the boat, we'll talk about a couple of the key components, starting with your transom locker here. Not only is it an option to add an extra 500-pound ballast bag here, but when you're not using the ballast, you can use it as storage back here, and it's really nice to have the extra storage when you're out on the lake. Here on the transom, we have the new upgraded camera system, as well as the pop-up pylon. For when you're pulling those boats off the lake or pulling a tuber, this is a really safe connection instead of putting that torque on your tower. One thing that makes the transom really nice on this Centurion boat is not only the lounge pad, but if you want those seats, you got that option too, which makes it really nice to have both options in case you want to lay out or sit up and watch the action. So here on the back, you have this really nice butterfly design to get into your rear lockers as well as get into your engine hatch. So both sides flip up from the side, just like so. And when you unlock the middle, it all flips back together so you can gain access to the engine, rear storage, as well as your rear ballast. Making our way into the boat, another sweet design from Centurion is the center slider seat. So if you pick up on the front, it slides down this track and you can set it anywhere you want along this rail. This is something very important that a lot of people may miss, but it'll make your day on the lake much better if you know what's going on inside. So inside here, it seems like a lot of stuff that you don't need to know anything about, but you really should, because something can come loose or something can get plugged and you want to know everything about it to make sure that your family and your friends are safe out on the water. So check it out. Inside here, we have a couple components. These right here are just your fuel filler hoses. On each side are your actuators for your ram fill tanks. And down here are your quick drains for your PCM engine. Directly below that, on the port side at the bottom, is your T-handle plug. You want to make sure that that T-handle plug is in, again, so you don't sink your boat out on the lake. So while we're in here, let's talk about how a marine engine is cooled. It all starts right here with this intake hose. That goes through your inlet, through the quarter turn ball valve, up through this hose and through your freshwater strainer. So if you're overheating, you want to make sure that you have no restrictions starting with your ball valve all the way up to your freshwater strainer, making sure that it's tight so no air can get sucked in there and nothing's plugging your strainer, so you get proper cooling and good water circulation on your engine to make sure that you're out there having fun and not overheating. You got to start off with getting the power going. On these new models starting in 2024, they put in electric battery switches, which are located in the glove box. Makes it super easy to gain access to, so you aren't climbing around in the OB to turn your battery switches on. So in here, starting from left to right, on, this is your combined switch, which is an automatic relay, which when the power gets low on one battery, it opens up and ties the batteries together to make sure you're getting all the juice to keep the power flowing. So it's gonna go on, auto, which is in the middle, and then on again. These are just little safety switches that protect the button from getting bumped while it's out on the lake. Right next to the battery switch is the PDM. The PDM breakers now give you access to reset a PDM. PDM stands for Power Distribution Module, which means when you press something and send a signal from the screen to an actuator or a ram fill ballast or a pump, it sends that signal through the PDM, Power Distribution Module, to that component. So if it's tripped, find out what's causing it to trip and get it fixed before you mess something up. Over here, at the helm of the Centurion RI, you have two big screens. It seems like a lot of stuff is going on, but it's really simple to navigate this screen. You just had a lot of information in case you need to use it. Starting with your profiles, super easy to set up the wave, hit your little guy in the corner, choose your profile, and then just hit activate. From there, you can make all the tweaks to your tabs and ballast to really dial in your wave. But really, once you have those settings, all you need to use is your stinger and cruise control. The stinger tab on a Centurion boat is the primary way to mellow or steepen your wave. So 0 is going to be your most steep wave, which means the tab's going to be all the way up, causing the transom to dig deeper in the water and make a more steep, aggressive, sharp wave, while 100% on the stinger is gonna flatten it out and mellow that wave for a smaller rider. The cruise control can be used to lengthen and shorten your wave as well. By increasing the speed, you're gonna stretch that wave out. So for me personally, if I wanna build the strongest, longest wave, I'm gonna run my stinger tab at 0 while bumping my cruise to stretch that wave out and give it some good firmness. And that's all going to depend on the style of riding, as well as surf or skim riders, and also the preference of the rider. One other super cool feature that no other manufacturer have is this cat's fin. So instead of it being a fixed center tracking fin, the cat's fin allows you to adjust the angle of that, creating the boat to dog walk and really bring the lip of that wave over. And it's also fun to use when you're cruising down the lake to straighten out your path and continue down the water. So down here, over the past few years, a lot of people have been complaining about making quick volume adjustments. Because let's be honest, when you're out on the lake, one of the biggest ways to control the vibe on your boat is the volume. So having a big volume knob here allows you to crank the tunes or turn it down when you're trying to talk to somebody on board or in the water. So down here, it seems pretty self-explanatory, but this is how you make your Predator power tower go up or down at just the press of a button. So all you do is hold your button and the tower starts coming up. This is the Predator Power Tower equipped with the Wet Sound Rev 12s, and I promise you, these things bump. So there's plenty of other great features inside your new Centurion RI, but I don't want to bore you with those. I just want to make sure that you and your family are having a great time on the boat and out on the lake making waves. So thanks for checking it out. Enjoy your new boat.